All praise belongs to Him, and all of us have to return to Him. The topic of our discussion today is comparative study of what we understand from the practice of fasting in various ways. And I have been told to share with you some of my understanding about what fasting is in Islam. So I wish you, all of you, happy Ramadan and happy fasting seasons of other faiths also. I don't know what are they known as, but I'm sure very soon we are going to know. And thank you very much, Father Arvind Peter and your associates in CISRS for organizing this outstanding event today. And also thank you very much and welcome the collaborating organizations and fellow speakers and all wonderful ladies and gentlemen. Friends, to begin with, I have to say that although we are talking about fasting, that is coming more from spirituality, but incidentally our spiritual mandate also gives rise to nation building. And I'm going to talk about it. Let us think through God's intrinsic design. God's intrinsic design, as I have been able to understand after having worked so many years with various faith traditions. I'm also the founder president of Interfaith Coalition for Peace, as Dr. Daniel was just now mentioning to you. So we have been organizing events across India. So what I feel is that socio-economic spiritual networking, that's what God has provided. Socio-economic spiritual networking. And what I mean by that is that for a moment, to understand what my point, for a moment I would recommend let us sit back and think of the items of nutritional value for the soul and body. What are the items of nutritional value for the soul and body? So whatever has nutritional value for soul and body, God has interspersed it into the divine law, linking it with reward and punishment. That is God's intrinsic design. What are those rewards and punishments? Just for instance, there is a concept of ihsan in Islam. God says that if someone has done wrong with you, it's very justiciable, you can do equal wrong with you. But if you don't do that, then you are my special teacher, you are my special person. So I like you more than others. And of course that has rewards. So that is known as ihsan, and we can call it compassion. Then sila rahmi is treatment, very good treatment with their relatives, their members of the extended family. And sawab is divine recompense. If you are doing good things which God likes, then there is sawab, there is divine recompense. Similarly, on the other hand, if you cut off your links with your members of the extended family, God does not like it. Similarly, there is a concept of taboo, anything which anybody does against the divine law. And because of that indulgence, there is guna, that is known as punishment. Friends, we need to imbibe the message that has been given to us in all these scriptures, one after another. And on the basis of that, let me start talking about my own topic. What are the basic pillars of Islam? The basic pillars of Islam are 5. One is belief in divine oneness. It starts from there, belief in divine oneness. Plus there are 4 more. I have given them the acronym of NZRH. Namaz, Zakat, Roza and Hajj. Which means prayer, charity, fasting and pilgrimage. These are the other 4. The first one is belief in divine oneness, and then prayer, charity, fasting, and pilgrimage. But we have to, friends, also look for the larger image, the larger picture. In 11.7 in the Holy Quran, God says, what is the purpose of creating humanity? Why God created humanity at all? What's the purpose? So the purpose, which is very clearly defined there, is to test as to who amongst us is more helpful to the other human being. That is the basic purpose of creation of humanity. And if we wish to explain it by examples, I am showing you here a tennis court, okay? Or we can look at the badminton, carom board. So both these, and similar other things, there are main purpose of the games and sports is not these lines or goals or rules of these sports. The main purpose of the games and sports is to develop and sharpen the physical and intellectual well-being of the individual. Okay? For that there are certain rules and certain laws and certain lines which have been drawn. So the boundaries are marked and rules are made for the purpose of steering the game, and the larger purpose is good health of the society. Likewise, friends, that is also the purpose of NZRS, the basic pillars of the faith. They are not end by themselves. There is another end, and these are instrumentalities. What is the instrumentality? We are talking about Ramadan today, the fasting of the Ramadan. Be equally conscious even between two prayers. Do not confine yourself, your God consciousness while you are praying, but be equally God conscious between two prayers. So, if I am fasting for 1 month during the month of Ramadan, so my remaining 11 months should also get that advantage. How do I behave in the world? So we need to be equally God conscious even during the remaining 11 months between two Ramadans. That is to say that there has to be a combination of mind and heart, and if that combination is good, that gives excellent, outstanding results. Friends, Ramadan month is like an annual refresher course. For 1 month, there is intense training, coaching, refresher course, and so that you are good for the remaining 11 months also. During the Ramadan, friends, we also become specially philanthropic. 59.7 in the Holy Quran says that there is the directive principle of Islamic socialism, and that is circulation of wealth. That is, the society's wealth should not remain confined in the two hands of the rich, but it should keep on circulating. That is the basic mandate. Incidentally, and that was given 1400 years ago, but incidentally that was later adopted as one of the directive principles in our Constitution of India also. The instrumentalities of this larger mandate. What are the instrumentalities? They are in Islam. Zakat, mandatory charity. Sadaqah is considered to be optional charity. Then there is some concept of pulling up. I am not going to flood you with so much of information, but then just flagging. The charity which is given on the day of Eid, that has a special name, a special significance, fitra. Then Qurbani, why there is sacrifice done, that is also the concept of charity. Why fasting, that we will talk about shortly. And if I have done something wrong against God's wishes and His rules, then I have to give kafara. Kafara is a penalty which I have to give voluntarily, of course prescribed by the faith. So, friends, during Ramadan, most of us pay zakat. Although it's not mandatory to pay in Ramadan, you can pay any time, 24, whenever 365 days are over after having paid last year. So, mandatory annual charity is 2.5% savings and wealth. God also says that righteousness sprouts from giving away liberally out of what you love for yourself. He says that God, you will not reach the highest level of your nearness to God unless you give away to others what you love out of your possessions. And there is a concept of al-faqru faqri. That is, I take pride in keeping myself artificially deprived. I have been blessed with a lot of assets by my Creator, but I want to keep myself artificially deprived so that I am able to contribute to the larger purpose of my existence, that is helping out other people. So Ramadan fasting, friends, teaches us to be less enamored of material wealth. There are some other features also of Ramadan. Give gifts selflessly and unilaterally. Visit the sick. Respect the deceased. And the power of forgiving is particularly to be realized this month, which of course results scientifically proved into lower blood pressure, better sleep and less anxiety, and so many other physical advantages. The benefits of forgiveness are not just individual but also collective, and it helps for rebuilding communities. And what we learned from Ramadan is that we have to migrate from blame and vengeance to the higher spiritual orbit of healing and hope. During Ramadan fast, we don't eat or drink anything, not even water, from 1 hour before sunrise till sunset. Exactly. And also during the fasting, voluntarily we keep ourselves away from pleasure through physical intimacy. During fasting, friends, I am also time conscious that God wants me to be a kind person. And in the evening after sunset, we break the fast together, and that is known as iftar, which we are going to do today. Courtesy Father Peter and all friends here. During fasting, friends, we realize what is hunger. I'm fasting, so I have to realize what is hunger like. Thus, by fasting, we tend to feed the hungry. And by fasting, we become better human beings. Ladies and gentlemen, God says in 2.58 that He likes sajda, that is prostration, as expression of thanks to Him. During sajda, incidentally, you will realize that that's the only position when physically the heart is above the mind. The mind goes down and heart goes up during the sajda. During that sajda or prostration, there is increased amplitude in the head, suggestive of elevation and indicating a state of relaxation. This I am quoting the technical and scientific findings. So daily, throughout the year, all the 365 days, there is mandatory 5 times prayer in Islam. And if we count daily because of those 5 times prayers, a believer has to perform 88 prostrations every day. 88 prostrations, that's mandatory. And during the month of Ramadan, there are daily 40 extra prostrations in the form of late night special prayers, which is known as Tarawih. There are some other health benefits also of fasting, and for that I'll take you to John Hopkins University, the Ivy League University of the United States, about 150 years old. So the medical department of that has found on the basis of scientific studies and ways that there are a lot of benefits. Thinking and memory, that is improved. Heart health is improved. Physical output goes up. And fasting prevents obesity. And in certain cases it has been found that even the insulin therapy need has been reversed. Tissues health becomes better. And my fasting, what does it? My digestive system remains good. I need to reorient myself. That's what I learned from fasting. And I also learned let's not waste precious time. I also learned most of the work will have to be done by myself. And during fasting, we think of caring for the underprivileged, like this girl. We start thinking, what about this girl? I have to take care of her also. I have to take care of this boy. I have to take care of this man. Okay, that's the realization as a result of the fasting. So while fasting, we think about them. And by fasting, we are helped to improve. I am able to improve my world and I can improve their world also. By fasting, we learn what is a sound heart. What is it? Sound heart. Now you think all of a sudden from where it has come, sound heart. So 26.88 and 89 in the Holy Quran says, يَوْمَ لَا يَنْفَعُ مَالٌ وَلَا بَنُونَ إِلَّا مَنْ أَتَى اللَّهَ بِقَلْبٍ سَلِيمٍ. On the day of judgment, neither wealth will be of any use nor the offsprings, except the one who returns to God with a sound heart. This is Quranic terminology, al-Salim, sound heart. So what is this? So very quickly, the poet of the East, the author of Traditiins, Syed, Dr. Zafar, he wrote in Persian one couplet, Masih Khami ki dara maz mohabbat ki niyat azam, ifarda chu rasal pesh tu arman azmaz muhaqqai. O Lord, you gave me a heart of crude copper with my love for your other creatures, my fellow human beings. I am trying to convert it into gold, into a golden heart, so that when I meet you tomorrow on the day of judgment, I can present it to you as a gift. That is the concept of a sound heart. Friends, by fasting, we also learn that we should develop and cultivate good relations with people of different faiths. God says in the Quran that I have breathed my spirit into each one of the human beings. That's what God says. I am quoting it here. So what is my mandate then? We must strive to imbibe at least some of the human qualities. So by fasting, I learned God's quality of being kind. Another Ramadan connect of what we are talking about today is something which some of you would not have heard about earlier. It's known as the preserved tablet. I'm very quickly going to explain it to you. Since before the creation of humanity, it is believed in Islam, since before the creation of humanity, all the upcoming scriptures, were kept safely together in a preserved tablet. The term in the Quran is Law Mahfuz, the preserved tablet. Before the human world came into being, God had sent down His comprehensive message in a nascent form from the preserved tablet to the worldly sky. And that event corresponds with one of the nights in the month of Ramadan. That's what is believed. We are going to approach that night also, the last 10 days of the Ramadan. That is also known as Laylatul Qadr or the night of power. One of the last few nights during the month of Ramadan. Every year during this night, angels descend to earth carrying God's bounties and instructions. And therein is decreed every matter of ordainment, that's what the scripture says. And the divine announcement says that this night is better than 1,000 months. If you divide 1,000 months by 12, that gives the average normal human lifespan. Which means that the prayers made during this night have greater value than an entire life of supplication. Now, why I am talking about it here? Because the glory of that night, Quran clarifies that it is God who revealed the message through His prophets. He's not talking about Prophet Muhammad. All the prophets. Quran says that so many books have been given to so many prophets, and it's your duty of the believer to believe in all of them equally. So well-researched scholarly analysis converges around the belief that the revelation of predecessor scriptures by God to the earlier messengers also occurred during similar nights. And that is, friends, a strong directive for maintaining interfaith love and affection. Ladies and gentlemen, after a month of Ramadan fasting, the planet celebrates Eid, and friends, we are definitely here, a very, very potential group. Let's mull over what we have discussed, learn more from each other. And one takeaway of our getting together today is that by fasting in a general way, I can make the world better. Together we can make the world better. For today's Ramadan gift is here for all of you from the Zakat Foundation of India, that we have one coffee table book which we have published. It is titled as Taj Mahal's Spiritual Message. So Gladys will help you. There are certain copies kept here. Just take one copy from us as a gift from us. And happy Ramadan to all of you once again. And thank you very much for this.
Thank you, Dr. Syed, Zafar, Mahmood, for a very enlightening talk and showing us the significance of Ramadan, the month of fasting for Muslims.